Let's try that again. Good morning, everybody. It is September the 12th, 2014.
September the 12th, 2014. Apologize for running a little late
that I can see around the globe.
Saying goodbye to my
News out of Ukraine, and the Middle East is quiet.
Shut up, that's the way it goes. Okay, we started out this morning. We had our buy one.
United States is
in this 85
Obama's ISIS speech has met really
82.
pretty much with rejection around the globe, and
we thought
everybody sees it as
was
not
a
even
chance
really
after the news hit that the market would sell. Good news sells the market.
The United States has painted itself into a corner where, given
news hits,
watch what a person does, not what they say. Where
rotate up and down, and then it makes a new low, comes back up, and you get a retest
for our Middle Eastern policies. Russia
really
good
said,
be
chance
careful,
of
United
being short in this 87.
You're going to make this war situation
market
a lot worse
comes down,
if
freezes.
you follow out
at this point,
you outlined in
you're
your
really
speech
stuck
the other
to
night.
setback trades.
It's never easy.
Market. Good news doesn't rally the market.
When you are in a leadership position,
and we
sometimes
come
you have
all
to
the way
make
down
unpopular,
to 78 on the
decisions.
first go.
And by
back
trying
up in this area in a mean green
have it
trade,
both
you got a short at the mean green
like
line.
You're taking strong action,
does
but not really doing a hell of a lot.
Deliver profits.
Obama got a very predictable result.
Another mean green trade right
said
here
they will not
delivers
join
profits.
in the airstrikes against Syria.
And then we start
and nobody with standing armies in the Middle East has raised their
and
hands saying we're going to put boots on the ground.
My guess is we probably
so we're left with
the day.
Training
now, one thing to read right here, this
Iraqis,
50-lot trader,
but it takes time.
You really kind of, when the market
trying
sells, if you see them doing nothing but
ISIS,
they're buffering the action. They're acting
missile strikes
with
bombs,
in concert with the Fed,
and that also takes
a
time
plunge
too.
protection
So,
team. Good news didn't rally the market. It was sold. We have the FOMC market
as untasteful as it is in some
some
spots of the world, was maintained.
And maybe it's next
week.
week.
We left yesterday's note market
saying that
saying
great
that
economic
the
news,
financials saying
that
this market is pointed lower. We're not getting any lower.
I don't see how the Fed
right here
raises
that volume
rates,
held.
given what it does to the budget deficits.
We did not build volume
above
over the last 5 or 6 years. Neither party. There, and this is the controlling mode. This is the one that's setting the action.
And under Bush,
put all of this
Bush
together,
that's
it's a very, very strong B.
The biggest gripe.
Here's a
lot of people
out of the middle
from the right have
starting a new
distribution. Prolific spender. He was
in the overnight session,
all the volume. Obama came along.
All the activities in the bottom half of the distribution, so it's a B pattern. And that
at some
should
point,
lead to a retest
it
of the
catches up to
London
you.
low.
If you doubt it, look
at
Argentina, look at Venezuela.
Now,
the
Spain,
one thing that we have
Greece,
going for potential support today is that. So when we look at the F1 screen, it's going to say, look for a place to sell it come Monday. And that usually leads to a trading range day. So we pointed out
lower
structurally on this market. I mean, the breakout came from 55.
I don't know if we can really break the market.
From 63, then from 71. And
the news focus is retail sales.
It's an outside day.
As we said yesterday, if as forecast,
break early, so we
supported
sell
for
failure to
equities,
take
not
out
so
resistance. And if we don't bust support, we can get
Auto plus 3. This will
too.
be the market's focus. And then we have import-export prices. No one will pay any attention to them.
Just quit. Several distributions lower. We've got these attractors down in the 67 area and 71. So this really,
based on
this
these
area right here,
ought
ought to be pretty good support.
Michigan sentiment.
If we were to close the market right here, we're basically trying to sell 80.
I think 4. Yeah, 83.4.
And then the 85 area.
According to Econoday.
Which has the largest following as far as
economic projections go, and business inventories
and then
at plus 0.4.
65, 67.
Which no one will pay any attention to. So this is your number 1 news focus. And that's your number 2. And as those two numbers go, so will today's trading. Our first sell is 11 to 15. Could live with a 9.5. And we'll adjust all this come Monday morning. Against this volume right here. Our second sell is 19 to 23. don't see how we can get to our S2 level.
So an interesting
On
article
the buy side, I'm a little bit torn. We've got this volume down here in this 4 to 6 area.
And the gist
because
of the
I think we're headed lower, I'm going to give it a little bit room, and the news is forecast to be strong. But there have been so many people that have talked about, we'll put 29s to 01 as buy one.
Dangerous. Everything's overvalued. Everything's out of whack.
Is
at some point the market will
contrary
turn
to
okay, we pointed out this area down here, this 22,
and if it's
16,
well below the
22,
forecast,
24 area,
rally on that.
that's really good
second buy will
support.
be
Then basically our
23,
23, 24 area is another area that's pretty good support.
So we got a Newsday trade this morning when you get right down to it.
And definitely we want to be sellers on this contract. Market is pointed lower. Looking at the F2 screen, pointed lower. We got this low volume number down here at 23.18. We have that chart support at 24. So
okay, looking at the bond,
16 to 24
it's been weaker. The
non-spread
we're headed right
now.
That's
really
been our hint
aggressive
that this
sell is
market was probably pointed
in this 2404 area. So this is where we want to sell failure.
When we do our splits
Sunday
right
night on Globex, and then our second
that
sell
we had a new
zone is gonna be
distribution
7 to
start
11.
at 37.10.
On the buy side,
then. So we got volume
27,
at 24,
24,
23 to
just structurally
27
right
will be
now,
our
let's
first sell,
shoot
and
for
then
25s to 21s.
We're a little more
We'll see what
aggressive here
happens in
because of
Globex.
the non-spread contraction, then 36 to 03.
And then 17 to 13 for buy two.
They're taking it down in front of the news,
Just
so the
leaning
news is
against longer-term
expected to
chart
be
support, and we'll make the adjustments come
weaker
Monday
than
morning.
forecast. So we'll make 5 to 9 buy one. I mean, if the news is as forecast, it'll signify economic strength. Fed can raise interest rates sooner rather than later. Sell financials.
Now, if the E-mini is in a complete meltdown, there's a
morning.
chance it could bring support in this market, but you can see
Right
both
now,
of them
with
sold
low
today,
interest rates, our
and
annual
they're selling
interest rate cost
because
with all
the
the spend
Fed
money we've borrowed is $240
has got strong
billion.
enough economic news
If
that they
interest
can
rates
consider
get
raising
back
interest
to the
rates
historical
to
norm,
slow down and cool
about
off
2.5
inflation, which
points above where they
I
are
don't
right
know.
now
It's
on
just-
average for the portfolio.
So much of what's done these days,
Interest costs
doesn't
jump
make
to
sense.
$900 billion a year. And that's why the Fed
Okay, same
really
situation in the
can't
bond.
materially raise
First
interest rates.
sell is
Nor
going to be
any other
take out
country out
36,
there that has
3604.
used debt to keep their social welfare
And then
spending
the
programs
last
going.
rotate up stopped at 10, so 7
That's
to
the
11
reality.
we sell
and,
two.
That's going to hold over or hang over the markets. You can't get away from it.
Slow volume number down at 16.
So the
we're
Fed's
at
really
28,
in a
so
tough
17
spot.
to
They,
21 will be buy one.
Want to inflate
And I've
the
been getting
price of
hammered on my
housing
buy one. Then 9 to 13 will be
to
buy
get
two.
back people their
The knob
most of
spread
the
is
world's
compressing,
normal source of
contracting.
wealth.
Number two
And,
price points are where we want to get long. And number one
They've
sell points
been
are where we want to get
successful
short.
up to a point in doing that, especially in the areas where they homes lost 50% or so of their value. But they haven't been able. I mean, Wichita home prices are pretty much where they've been, but we never suffered the bust either.
Okay, gold, I think it's
Outside of
headed
your
down
four big
to
straits.
1217, 1220. Okay, we came in yesterday wanting to buy the 35, 37 area and 25 to 27, so we'll make it 28 to 30 for buy two. 33, 35, just where we are right now. On the sell side,
Got
we
a
left
very, very
yesterday
weak
wanting
finish.
to sell
43,
don't see any reason for it not to go down there.
And
PDQ,
we didn't get it, so 40,
being able to
42
sell the
to
London
sell on,
high
that's
would
just
be our
resistance,
objective, our
that's where it
goal.
is.
I think we're headed down to the
So
12, 17,
at least stops
12,
below
20 area.
25 for buy one.
45, 47%.
And then
structurally, we
Now,
should have pretty good support
because of
down
all
in
the selling
17
that
to
we've
20 area
had,
for buy two.
If we
Now, if we bust
don't
this
break
12, 17
the lows,
area,
then end of the week short
on the
covering is a
charts
possibility.
and
And
structure,
that should get us back maybe even as high as
1185.
50.
So we want to get short, want to try the low. If we can't break
we'll
it,
become the
then we
trading
can
cover and start looking
On the
for
sell
a place to get
side,
long.
this 30 area, 32, and then basically 35, 37.
Okay. Yeah, not much has changed. Looking at crude, that's where we are. We're trading to 90. Obviously, pattern that I'm keying off of is post-auction. It tends to sell. And when you look at crude, you can see that every time we if we bust this 90-50 area, like I said when I started, but the next stop will be that round pointed lower right now. Going normally back the previous years, today is 85, 87 should be pretty good support. We would not 85 to 90 is probably where this market is headed. But we are and looking at this one, you can see that there's pretty stout selling from 94 to 95 before that. And we've been on the short side of the market better since the selling started too. If you go back and look at your F1 screens and check out what our calls have been, we like the short side better. And so the last rotate up, like the stop better at 92.81. We're at 91.98 right now. Last 92.30, so 2 1/4, 250, which was our support area early this morning. It'll be sell one. We've thought about getting long during auctions because the Fed has to support the market and they can't move as much paper as they need to move. Last rotate down here was 71, and we have a D at 61 and a C at 46, so I don't think we've got enough to bust the lows down here in the 22 buy one, 16 to 23, and 75 to the buck for buy two. I don't think anything is that much has changed either. Okay, where were we? Glad to see you got your thinking cap on, Charles. You are making lots of progress. Okay, here's the euro. Like I said, we love to sell in the 50 area. The euro really got strong today. I didn't ever find any news well buying at 29. If we take a look at all of this, we're still dealing with a major B. Goldman thinks we're going to 120 before it's over. Several years ago, the low was 118. So we've got volume supporting the market down here in the 28, actually made it up to a number 2 sell zone. So we've got rejection now above 92, 59, 80, 53. That's rejection. So 45, 55, 80 to 85 is resistance, and our 65. Got pretty good support down here in the. I don't see what. Yeah, how it can get above 29, 25. So without really bad retail sales numbers this morning. Buy one. So we'll make 29, 29, 10. Buy really don't like the long side of this market. Give it some room. Buy two will be below 129. On the sell side, we have a pretty clean breakup here at 64, 65. We're at 40, so we'll make, we got 20, 65, 75, sell one, where support comes in. And with a question mark right here, we can go back and adjust it after the news. Might take, let's just make it 50 to 60, sell one. And then we got the bottom of value way down here, so 75 to 85 would be buy two. We'll make 75 to 85. And that's it for September the 12th. 2014. See you all bright and early Monday morning. It's been a long week, as they always are. Hours-wise. Like I said, I'm going to watch Tennessee get thumped probably tomorrow night. I mean, it would take a miracle. There's always an outside chance in college football. Crude oil now. That you can beat a superior opponent, but not pretty usually. Good rally yesterday. Really, I'm going to enjoy the game and look for improvement and not get too upset with yesterday's market. The game's over and they probably lost. Hope all your teams win. See you bright and early Monday morning. Yesterday's sales and crew was 93.50 to 93.75, and we got it briefly right here in Q&R period. So the idea of being a seller in the overnight session has produced some trading profits so far. So we've got ourselves a seller in the 93.75, 94 area. It keeps coming down. Crude oil is telling us that things in the Middle East aren't going to get out of hand quickly. That the Iraqi oil supply is not really threatened right now. And, you know, if you look in lawless parts of the world, where there is no rule of law, where you don't have a way of settling problems via a court system or negotiation, if it's tribally based, your source of power and your protection comes to the tribe. And the Middle East is filled with tribal rule, tribal affiliations. So if you're a Sunni-based tribe on the west side of Baghdad, then affiliating or allying with ISIS would make some sense if you are going to keep your head. If you're not going to keep your head, it doesn't make sense. So without the Sunnis, Ramadi, places west of Baghdad, throwing in with ISIS, it's going to be hard for them to take the oil fields. So the threat of losing oil is not there. Russia, the Ukraine sanctions, it's amazing how silent the sanctions have been against Germany. No new steps were taken by Russia, and there's two reasons for that. Number one, Germany's the largest Western investor in Russia, and they're also the largest user of natural gas. Russia needs the cash flow. They won't cut off their nose to spite their face. They're going to pick up the slack. It'll take time to get those pipelines built to China and India, but that's coming. So these people are practical. They're not fools. They understand the writing on the wall. They act in their own national interest, as you would think a country would. And they don't, I mean, they're realists. They're not trapped in la-la land. So, but Germany and Russia have pretty close ties, and they are talking regularly about what to do about the Ukraine. So the Ukrainian-Russian problem probably stays where it is right now. Russia will end up with a land bridge to the Crimea, which is what they've needed from day one. Now they've got it. Well, they take up one more city, and then people will sit back and see what Russia does next. So crude oil, we got volume down here at 91.50, and we've got sellers in the 93.50 area. We're right now at 93, so we're at the top end of the band. We can think about selling. So I think the market's going to retest that breakout at 92.50. So the issue is whether can 92.50 hold or not. If we take 15 handles off 93.70, that puts us down into this 93.20 area. So 93.23, 92.25 to 50 will be buy one. And then 91.50 to 75 will be buy two. On the sell side, last rotate up stopped at 23. We're currently at 91. It is very, very aggressive, but 93, 93.25 is sell one, and then 50 to 75 is sell two. Well, you know, China faces the same problem that large mutual funds have, Charles. I mean, if you got $50 billion in your mutual fund, there is no meaningful way you can lessen your exposure or hedge away the risk of the stock market. So China may not buy as many treasuries from us in the future as they have, but if they're going to export more to the United States than they're going to import from us, they have to buy something in the United States. The capital account at the end of every year is zero. So they've got to buy services, they've got to buy real estate, they've got to buy companies in the United States, or they have to buy our paper, which would be stocks or bonds. So from time to time, they make a big deal out of lightening their purchases of U.S. securities, but they never entirely quit. And the reason they don't entirely quit is because they have nobody, they couldn't export as much to us as they have, and they count on exporting us to keep their economy going. That's why when China blusters and talks about how they're going to kick our rear ends and do all this sort of stuff, you have to take it with a grain of salt. They don't have to kick our rear ends to get what they want. If they did get out there and try to kick our rear ends, they'd lose a good portion of their economy. So they can't really liquidate. I mean, how do you get rid of $1 trillion worth of U.S. Treasuries? You can get rid of them by letting them mature and not buying many of them, but you can't go out and dump them on the market without screwing yourself. So, just like Fidelity can't go dump stocks and get out of the stock market. I mean, they're in the stock market and they will prosper as long as the stock market prospers over time. And when the stock market no longer prospers, they'll have to find something else to do. Okay, the E-mini, this is the December contract. The September contract still riding at 9 high. Convergence to September prices over a week to 10 days is usually what we do. So yesterday we had a P. We ended with a P, and when you look at this, it ended strong. And right now we're at 90. So our 94, 95 allows this P to fulfill itself. So our first sell. And my guess is the news is going to be supportive, so we'll have to adjust after the news. So sell 1 will be 94, 96. Sell 2 will be 99, 2001. Playing for some convergence there. On the buy side, last rotate down stopped at 82. Then at 85, so this 85 plus or minus will be buy 1. Maybe 84, 86. And then buy 2 will be our 79, 81. News is supposed to be supportive, so they're looking at retail sales plus 0.6. Ex-auto is the market's focus, plus 0.3. The Michigan sentiment at 83.4. Import prices minus 0.1. Minus 1%. Export prices minus 0.1. And business inventories at plus 0.4. No one will pay any attention to. So if we don't get the news that we want, we'll be lowering our sell zone into the 90 area right here. So we're going to give it a little room for news, and we're going to come back and we will adjust it. That's all I have. It'll take about 20 minutes to get everything up and posted. Going to get busy on it right now. Be back as fast as I can.